here we are. This is insane. So Amish and I just got here and we are walking around, not the Dmg Mori booth, but the Dmg Mori building. Amazing. It was a great place to start because Amish has a what is it? A DMU 65 monoblock 5-axis machine. So we've got a contact here. We had some breakfast and checking out. They literally made, this is a Jaguar car, I guess, body panel mold. I don't even know that it's clear to me what it's for. Here's the other half of that car mold. Look at the dowel pins. Insane. And look at the tool length. Insane. He has a little cleaner. It cleans the HSK spindle. These are gantry machines that are, that one has the red nomenclature U precision, so they do hand scrape castings on the mating surface. It's still a linear rail machine though, and amazing speed, and they were talking about the plotting accuracy throughout the whole machine to, you know, some number of microns within the whole work envelope. Oh my God, I don't know if I can see that because of the light, but there's a gigantic boring tool there. The scale is just immense. I mean, Amish is literally standing behind the back of the machine. And that's the bigger one down there. Sandvik, Bluetooth connected, or, you know, electronically talking to. Look at the length of that boring bar. So you think it checks vibration? Insane. I mean, just look at the chip. Some really nice tooling, stacking up some slotting mills, but then look at this, fully integrated Cat 50 or whatever. That's insane. Beautiful. It's really interesting. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like the little pad on the end of that too. How it moves, it pivots right.
We have pad. Also this basic lamps. Also, what if it's a finished surface? Is that what this is then? Then you can, for machine surface?
So you can, like this one, you can machine it. So it's soft draw.
Soft draw, yeah.
Right.
This is original piece model. We have made also this original piece model, also Compressors, but it's not in publicity internet.
Oh, there's bolts inside there, I see. Yeah. Right, so you get the smooth. And then the texture, right? Right.
Pins here, more grips.
Oh wow! Yeah, these things are amazing. They're not the easiest things to get in the States, though.
Yeah, there's.
Really?
Yeah, I have one. I bought one from.
You're not in the States.
In Swift Tool in the States.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
This coffee.
So adjustable boring tool. So we have it in this insert style here, but then also on an actual individual head. And you have this sort of wand, and those are microns on diameter. And it's proving it out with this Mitutoyo dial indicator here, which is amazing. So the idea is you're buying a tool instead of having to put the electronics package in each one, which is what you'd see on some of the new Bluetooth boring heads. Pretty interesting. I can see some pros and cons, but very, very precise. And it takes out, there's no backlash to deal with because it has a scale inside. Very cool. Look at this drill with 3 inserts, the W inserts with the center allied.
Yeah, you're talking about the car and you need to buy shit.
And they have a new drill out, which is very interesting to me, as a potential replacement to the solid carbide through spindle coolant here. So we're going to check that out more. So the Fulcrum Allied are going to do a demo for us, 10 times deep. That's a piece of 4150, and that's at 30 Rockwell.
It's a 30 Rockwell.
30 Rockwell. So this is near to my heart, and that's a bigger diameter than we're running. That's insane.
That's about a 19 millimeter, 19, 20.
Do you know what the through spindle pressure is on this?
I think, I'm not actually, I believe it's 40 bar.
I don't know what that is.
It'll be probably 580 or the
Yeah, 580 because I got it.
There's your cutting data right there.
Okay, so yeah, this is the drill we were looking at, which is the Genesis XT Pro 4150. And do you know, does it give you the service put? Yeah, so
we're in metric, unfortunately, for these guys.
yeah, sure.
It's 104 meters.
times 3.26.
Sure. So yeah, you're running mid 300s.
350, 320.
Right. Yeah, it's close to what I'm at.
And we're cutting middle book on this. We're not out to blow anybody's mind. We're running
right. But I assume when you push the surface footages, you'll reduce tool life.
Yeah, that's normally the payback.
Trade up, right? Right. It is silent. That was nothing.
Yeah. Is that where you want to be?
And because of the extra overhand, we're obviously not come back on the speed and feed.
Oh, he's going to go all the way. That's a 10 times speed holder.
Yeah.
When you started
Oh,
with
so
the
it's
short one, you used to give him a hole to start with.
Sure.
You want to get no. You want to get. You got to make sure you don't go into high speed whip. So when they start to get up over about 8 times speed, drills want to whip.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So you have a starter hole. You get inside and you want to go in light. You know what I mean? So you don't score your hole.
Yep. Well, same thing with like those. I've got a 1/4 inch that's 32 times, and they run it. You run it backwards when you start the hole.
Yeah. You can do that
and
too.
then you go forward.
Just got to remember to switch to the forward.
You don't have to remember.
We've
sell
had
more
people
drills
do
that
it
way.
that way.
Sell more drills that way. We found our machine. It's actually cool to see it here. There's so many European brands and different machines and bigger machines, but it's our little VF2. Cool. Let's go find Datron.
Let's do it.
It's got a vision system built in, which makes total sense. So you can do your probing, and this is an actual live view of the part. This is thread milling.
Right now we're on this side.
What is it? M1? Do you know? M2?
Or I think something M3 or something like that.
M3 is huge.
Are you ready?
Look at the thread mill. Yeah.
You see, with one tool we can make different sizes of thread. Right, exactly. Yeah. So also we save some tool changes.
What? 100 tools? Yeah. You get a tool hive. Yeah. The tool hive mounts to the back of your couch. I have always had a soft spot for Hermli. They're a high-end German machine tool builder. 5-axis machines, super precise. This was actually a Hermli machine being run at the EMO booth. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Doing some demos on their tooling with full simultaneous tool pass. And then here, they've got a tapping head on a speeder, so it's to be able to tap at a multiple faster. But then here's what's crazy. It's doing a tool change over to what's called a plunge tap, where it's tapping at a significant multiple of the thread pitch. Yes, you're able to tap insanely fast. There's a drawback though, which is that it runs 2 spiral helix flutes sort of down the tap. That's how it's able to cheat and go faster, so I think you lose some thread strength. Nevertheless, pretty cool and just awesome to see. Harmony didn't allow us to film too much in their booth, but they did actually send us some footage of some awesome YouTube videos they've made here machining a beer stein as well as a blisk. Blisk is one of those aerospace terms. I believe it's a shortened version of bladed disc, but it's what you see when aerospace and impellers and energy and so forth. Pretty cool stuff.
So folks talk about how big EMO is. It's the largest machine tool show in the world. This is insane. We've been through 2 or 3 buildings this morning, which are all the way down at the other end of the what they call the fairgrounds. And so we just walked up. This is building 11. And then look, the buildings just keep going. There are 27, I think, buildings. There are 27 buildings. Insane. Which one are we going in next? 12? I think that's what the map says. 12. Let's do it.
Grob, or maybe it's Grob, is another one of those really high-end German machine tool builders. I believe they're pretty big in the automotive world. So, like for example, if you have one of those, 1.8 turbo engines, like in the Audi A4, I think, and I could be wrong, that those turbo impellers that kind of look like the blisk we just saw at Harmony are machined. Each one is machined. It may start out as a casting. So machines like Grob have 5-axis with pallet pulls that are literally churning out tens of thousands of these really precise, complicated parts in volume, which to me is really cool. It's just funny to me to think that 5-axis is used in such high volume. What caught my eye here, or actually Amish's eye, is those small holes on the inside. How do you drill those holes? It's not possible to reach it. We found out. We're going to head over to that booth in a minute. It's a tool from this company, Alberti. Really cool. Here, Grob is using their new large machine to machine I think it's called the knuckle of their 750 machine. Insane. That's a basketball net. Solid billet made. And finally, we made our way over to, I think this was building 27 with Terry Berry.
Good to see you.
What's going on?
How are you?
I saw you were getting off the plane. You had some shots down the alley there on Facebook. This is your posting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I knew you were coming. It's awesome.
There you go.
Awesome, dude. What do you got going on?
Much?
What's that? No, we just got here. First day. Amish. Mark Amish.
Hello.
Yeah.
This place is enormous. They're saying you can spend half an hour just walking to the next hall, up at the far side.
We started building 2, which is DMG, and we've made like 4 or 5 buildings, but it's almost the end of the day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we're just not really talking. Right.
When do you go home? I mean, are you here?
I'm here through Thursday. I'm going Friday morning. So I got some time.
That's still non-stop.
That's all I can tell you. I actually kind of go back and run a business.
Oh my god.
This is mostly for fun,
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to see all kinds of new stuff you got to try.
Yeah. It's cool though. What are you guys running?
UMC demo. So we just loaded up there. The same demo you saw at the factory.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we just had fun. I broke food supplies, move it all around and let it find itself.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks so much. Oh, that's funny. That's embarrassing. That's terrible.
It's funny to see all the Haas stuff in German.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
I like that so
much. Exactly, right?
Beautiful buildings and architecture. It's really impressive. The food is also really good. Every place has like a restaurant or quick serve food area that has really good food. And then we were wondering, Amish was asking, I wonder where they get the air for the literally thousands of machines. And I think we found the air compressors.
So quiet.
Yeah. And it must be on. They run full duty. That's insane. Holy cow. It looks like they're just container ready.
Yeah.
Wow.
hard to get a sense of the scale, but that is huge. I had no idea they did injection molding. They're actually molding those right now. So they're molding them and then they're literally bringing them right off and sorting them with the robot. That's cool. That's actually a much more intricate part than I thought. Look at this finish quality. It is making a chip. That's insane. It's like a scraper or a shaper. Take a look at the work holding on this. This would be, I think, like an example of a little engine turbo. It's pretty cool how that overarm is able to come in and stabilize the front of it. And then look at the speed of this fourth axis. Normally, I've only seen that kind of speed on the Brothers. That's impressive. That door also scared me. I'll leave it at that when it opened and closed. IGUS, they make plastic motion components. I assume less expensive on my list to follow up for, but as an entrepreneur, fail fast, fail cheap. Being able to buy these for less expensive and build stuff, whether it's just a prototype or to actually use, super excited. This is awesome. We found a harmonic drive, plastic, but so you rotate this black piece as your input shaft from your motor with a relatively high RPM, and then show them the output shaft. It's a really low, so it's a high torque conversion, gear ratio, and there's no backlash in this output shaft, which makes it great for things like robots or fourth axis. But the way these work is you've got one extra white tooth versus the black, and so assuming that this is the white piece, is it flexes, as you can see, as those two cams run around it. Isn't that cool? So they're showing on this GF machine, they're showing how they're doing, the material removal, the rough machining per se on a 3-axis mill. It's very accurate to get the majority of your geometry done, and then it can be moved over to this Charmille EDM, Sinker EDM, where it can do tool changes with your graphite electrodes. Look at that. And the electrode can put in small features like those slots. Sorry, it's hard to see. Look at the size of this trunnion. And apparently you can just buy a trunnion, like to bolt on. Insane. I mean, it's huge. Is it a mill? Or is it a lathe? Pretty cool. Main spindle, mill spindle can hold lathe tooling, but you've also got a full turret, which can go both on the front side and back side. Yeah, there you go. Lathe tool in a mill tool holder. Not a mill. Actually, well, it has live milling, but whew, look at that. Awesome little shoe mold. Really nice. Anybody know what that material is? NOC 80? That's one of the tough things is a lot of the materials are kind of country specific, so it's not the standard tool steel names that we're used to. So this isn't fake, that's real. Holy cow. Look at the tool head. Whoa. Wow.
This is another turret just hiding. Oh my god. So that's actually a Norseman part. That's a Norseman part.
Oh, is it? It's a new pivot? That's what he's got, right? Yeah.
Nightmares, dude. The collisions. Nightmares. Those chips.
Comes so close to the spindle, huh?
Oh my god, it's too close. This had to be one of the fastest rotating tool changers we saw in all of EMO. And I believe this was Enshu, who makes drill mill machines. Super, super fast. Oh, horizontal. Yeah. Well. Oh, look at that rotary rotate. The C?
Yeah, they're fast.
This is the brother sort of mini 5-axis. Actually, excuse me, it's 4+1. So it can do kind of mill turn, and you can hold lathe tools in that spindle. If you watched our video tour of Orange Vice, Eric has one of these. Pretty cool functionality, what you can do with it.
Old school changing a old school on that big machine. Yeah. It takes not longer than 2 hours. No, it's not binding.
Here's a Mazak 5-axis. This is just insane. Look at this. It's beautiful. So we're trying to figure this machine out, but it's I believe what you would call a horizontal boring mill. But what's interesting is that it appears that there is no enclosure, and thus it appears that you would mount your table on the ground or a pad, and instead of the machine being enclosed, you are enclosed. Look at that. Wow. So you're inside of this cab protected, and it itself goes up and down. These are really cool, the vibration bars. It'll be curious to see if this comes about where you've got the more of the digitally connected tools and the boring heads. We're seeing some of it, but not as much as I might think for a cutting edge show of, you know, pulling in and closing a loop where you've got a boring bar that can talk to your machine controller or your iPad. Dude, look at this stuff. Like this is insane. What you got? This is a 210?
This is the one I use, the Rel 90.
All right, wait, what?
So it's a new 790.
The new 790. No way, they're replacing the 790?
Yeah, this is what I have in mind.
Okay, because this is the high feet, or this is the aluminum hogger.
Exactly, yeah.
Huh. So, and you have the integral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fully.
So should I look at this over the 790 then?
This is the new. Yeah, they released this. Yeah.
Do they discontinue the 790?
That I don't know.
Man, that's a beefy tool.
Yeah. Mine is about this long, but inch and a half.
What? Is that long?
Yeah, it's probably
Holy
it's about
cow.
that. It's about 1 inch shorter than that.
Wow.
But with 4 inserts, inch and a half.
Wow. So we use a 245. This is the replacement, or excuse me, a new version of 345. So you've got a positive rake, but a double-sided insert. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right.
8 cutting edges.
Yeah.
And grades for all kind of materials.
Sure, sure. Which is nice. Gnarly chip breaker. So you get 8 edges per insert. You still got a pad.
Yeah. And the most important is the shim in between. So if the insert breaks, you will not damage the tool.
Yeah, yeah. I've never done that.
You swear?
The machine has done it. I haven't done it. And then this are the 390s. Yeah, that's interesting. Even that's a different 390 than I've got. Yeah, we've got that insert, but it's in a. We use the half-inch version.
I use that size inserts quite a bit. The 390 is great.
Yeah, the 1130 grade.
Still remain to be great.
Wow. Could you explain the silent tools?
I
So that's
can, but we have a model.
Oh yeah?
over there, yeah.
Where's that model?
Because there is already an update on the silent tools
Yeah.
with the sensor inside. So
Inside.
You can see the vibration and then you can adjust the machine to it.
Is this like a plus technology?
Exactly.
Yeah. Genau.
You heard about it.
So it's providing active dampening.
It shows the vibration
Yeah.
and then you have to adjust manually.
Ah, I see.
It's not in a way that the machine tool will automatically
I see.
adjust.
I see.
Sometimes this is not allowed, especially not in aerospace. There
Yeah.
we have frozen process on critical parts. So, but you can measure, you see the vibration and you see where it vibrates.
Yeah.
We have a long boring bar. It doesn't vibrate all the way long. There are some parts, and this you can easily detect and adjust. So you don't need to go all the way down.
So can you have the tool act differently depending on the Z depth of where it's at?
Yes, you can.
It's interesting, folks. I think this is the next big thing, which is not only smart tooling and interactive tooling, but it provides feedback, but more importantly, or equally importantly, how does that all tie together? In my opinion, that tooling needs to talk to either or both your machine controller as well as your CAM software to really close that loop. And I don't know what that future looks like as you get different brands of tooling, different controllers, and different software, but it's super interesting.
Okay.
Can you show us?
Okay, absolutely.
Thank you.
I start then with the silent tool boring bar.
Yeah.
It's an anti-vibration boring bar
Yeah.
where you have the dampening system in the forefront. That is a tool that we have already, sort of say, in the product assortment.
Yeah.
But now we include the sensors and wires into this one.
Built into the tool.
Built into
I
the
see.
tool, but also you see it over here.
Yeah.
So we have an electronic box. And together with that, we put everything together, you can say. So then we utilize the Bluetooth signal to connect everything.
So it's wireless.
Wireless, like that.
Yeah.
So what I do right now is that I connect the tool with this device. And the first thing you do when you have a cylindrical boring bar is that you set the center height. And that is what you do like that. And you will have the center height showing on the display like that.
Wow.
Okay? And then we have set within ±1 degree, then you're ready to go and have a green sign.
Yeah.
Okay? On the live view, I just do like this and you see everything is connected. So it's Bluetooth once again. Yeah, please, if you want to. You can hammer it a little bit.
Yeah.
You see everything works. But then we have recorded test cuts in our own production because otherwise we can't show it here in an exhibition.
Sure.
So when you make deep bores, you can't see the tooltip in itself. So now when the insert actually will hit the material, you will see we're making chips. These boring bars can have a specific load on it, like 100% out of something. Right now we're machining 74%. That means that you can increase with 26. In Germany, you can increase with even more.
In Germany only?
Only in Germany. Perhaps in US, I don't know. But in Germany for sure.
110%.
110 in Germany. You have a deflection of the tool of 0.40 on a radial. And you also see the temperature of the dampening system as well.
So it's telling you tool deflection just from the cut.
Exactly.
So as you feed a higher inch per rev, it's going to increase that number predictably.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And then you, as operator, then take care of these kind of signals. We are not yet in the NC control because that is then the next step, of course, that the machine do the next step. But we're not there yet. So we can visualize it on a device like that. We also give you an indication about the surface roughness as well. Roughing, medium, finishing. Not the real RA or RZ value, but the indication. And we can also show the vibration tendencies if that is also coming up. And that is a fine boring tool. Do you know how a fine boring tool works? So you unlock the screw, you twist the screw to the right position, and then you lock. Here we do all the thing in one setup with Bluetooth signal. So we just click here.
Bluetooth boring bar.
We click confirm, and everything is now taken care of. Unlock, screw, lock. And the clock will now start to go. Very good?
Wow.
So we have 1 millimeter now. It's half a millimeter on the clock, because this is diameter and this is radius.
Wow.
And you can see it's very accurate as well. It's 3. We're talking microns.
Yeah.
We're talking microns.
Can you move it back?
No, of course I can do. What we can do? You can have some small backlash now, but it will start to work. You have the battery inside, this plastic cover, and here you have inductive.
No way.
Inductive
Charging?
Charging.
Through spindle charging.
Yeah, it will come, 100%, but maybe not right now.
Wow.
So this is just a glimpse, guys, for the future, what's going on and what's going to happen. We don't have any tool on the market yet, but this is where Semicormat actually.
You can buy this, I thought. In the
no, not right now.
Really?
No.
Oh, I thought you could. Okay.
Unfortunately not.
Cool.
We are working on it, and it's a lot of things that need to be sort of saved in the whole package to be able to come out in the market.
Looking at microscopes, Amish has got this thing focusing. Look at that, is the zoomed in tip of that insert. Insane, the level of detail. See if we lay it back down. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking at. So you've got coating failure right there as you're leading in. Yeah, that's great. No,
you can't even see that.
Even we have a 45x loop. We can't see it.
He's like, no. That's cool because you can't see them with your eye.
Yeah. So this is a Fanuc robo drill. It's a machine and a casting. Pretty cool that the fourth axis is supporting hydraulic clamps through the fourth axis. It's an impressive machine. What's awesome is a robot is going to come in, take this part off, and move it directly over to one of the Renishaw Equator coordinate measuring machines. It's going to measure the part, and it's going to feed tool wear offsets back to the machine controller. Here is some Chiron, another super high-end German 5-axis, doing some really cool machining there. Just this, I couldn't get enough of this stuff. So amazing. See if they have it, the 50 millionths indicator. Look at the vernier. Holy cow. Yeah. 50 millionths. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's got a different anvil, but I want to get one of these, I don't know which one, or something that'll allow you to record high-low, so it'll make it easier to sweep things in. You don't have to be watching an indicator needle, and these are actually, I believe, as precise, or can be as precise as dial indicators. They should have microscopes here. Look at that. Those are gold wires. Oh, they're, oh my gosh. That's incredible. You think?
I think so.
Sort of aftermarket ways to handle tooling and fixtures and automatically, you know, tending multiple machines. It heard really good things about GAR, checking out some of their tooling and drills. I mean, look at that. Here's some of their drills. This would also be for like a titanium?
Yeah, so this is just a finisher tool.
Yeah. How many flutes?
That one itself, I believe, is 11.
It's
But
amazing.
it goes from 7 to 13.
13, wow.
Up to 13.
It's incredible. Here's some of their aluminum stuff. Oh, look at that. So this is actually awesome. We use these. How do you pronounce the company name? Slocky?
Slocky.
Slocky. So we use these to adjust our sandvik boring head as well as some of the other tools. Feels very lean. You take one of these inserts that's got the correct inch pounds or newton meters and put it in the wrench, and you get a good result, Amish?
Well, this is set for 3 newton meters.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
And you get the Torx inserts or any of the quarter inch drives. This will work, right? Yeah. You don't have to use a Slocky.
No.
bit.
Any other insert works as well.
It was actually hard to find. It's difficult to buy these in the US. Yeah.
Yes, in the US we are also dealer, I know.
Yeah? Who is?
I guess. I have to ask.
Okay. Yeah, so all the other tools. But really, actually this is the kit that we have. Ironically, we bought through Tormach. But not cheap. I think this was a couple $100, but well worth it for knowing you've got a really well correctly set tool. And I bet you, we really only need the 3 newton meter one. Which one is that? Yeah, the blue one. So I wonder if I could get that in the future, just separate individuals. So Amish was saying he really likes this tool from this company 99. It's for engraving. So 60-degree insert. Looks like it's got a rake angle set to it. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, it looks like that's not one of the. Maybe it's like one of those. Interesting. This caught my eye as well. Look at that center drill, potentially sort of chamfering tools.
Yeah,
look at that.
But this system is all go one holder. One holder go all the different angles.
How so?
These holders all the same.
Oh, the holders use different inserts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one holder, one
Yes.
tool with different inserts. It does look really good. Huh. Gnarly insert, dude. You see that? Multiple. So you have this type, sort of thing?
So I literally, on all my plastic, I'm using this one here.
Yeah.
And I have one of.
This is for engraving machines. So the shape is 4 millimeters. And then 0.1, 0.2, 0.3.
Yeah.
Interchangeable by the same.
This is multi-flute now.
Yeah, this is for deburring. They have a system.
That is insane. Look at that. I mean, is this just a gun drill? And then look at this, it's got, you know, extenders on it. Looks like PH Horn has a machine cutting. Let's go see what she's got. Surface finish, spectacular. This is your machine, right? 675. Right. Awesome. We have it's a trowel lathe, but they've got the strobe light, so we'll be able to watch the part either here or on the screen. And wow, look at all those. That's real time. I've never seen it in person. It's okay to use the tool radially, not plunging in axially. You're using the tool with all radial load. It's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
All the finishing process.
Yeah. So that right angle head that Amish saw on the Grob was an Alberti. Cool.
I want to see if that company's here. That's sweet.
Yeah, right. So we found the booth. Let's check it out.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, maybe you can see it better here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can really see
the openings here and
yeah, getting that into those holes. Wow. Yeah, the only practical way from the inside, at least,
and it needed holes from the side
to machine holes like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, next time you're doing that job, think about how much life it would be easier.
Adding a little bit of a cost to the job, but yeah.
The fact that you can swap this out for different diameters and you can mill with it, you can machine a little pocket, that is cool. You see this? It's augmented reality.
Wait, what?
Cool. There's the head of Noga. So we're here looking at some of the mounts. I'm a big fan, as you guys know, of making sure you get the fine adjust in the base. When you run a 10th indicator, you really need that. And so I'd like to get one of these where we've got a little bit of a larger frame. But anytime we dial in tool run out or are checking any sort of a run out, I really like this this setup. And then I want to look at one of the larger ones for some of the larger camera mounting or longer reach. But really nice. Anything new this year?
Not in the holder section.
Yeah.
But we have some cooling accessories which are new. I can show.
And what are these? I've never seen these before. This is just to hold.
It's a clamp for the cinema industry.
Oh, it is for filming. Interesting.
This one as well for the cinema industry. But
quick detach. Huh.
Yes, it's quick connect. But we promote it in the industrial segment as well.
Interesting. What is down here?
Actually, Nova has 3 different product lines. One is the deburring.
Sure.
One
Your
is the
plastic tools are great. Oh my gosh, for like a Delrin job, it's great. You never used them? Oh my gosh, the white blade. You have to.
Plastic right now.
Dude, you have to get one of these. They make it in the Rototool.
Yes, exactly. We are the only one.
Here, you need this one. Yeah, dude. Amish, get that tool.
I'm using
no.
this right now.
It gouges.
Plastic. Yeah, it gouges.
Yeah, no, you gotta get that. It's amazing.
It's best for plastic.
Wow.
Yeah, try it.
It's totally safe. You cannot cut yourself, even if you want.
Right.
It works like a magic.
Yeah.
Try this, and then try this one.
Oh my goodness.
And it's not even. And it's totally safe.
Not even expensive, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, so showing us the mini cool that we use on our surface grinder, where you can mix an air and
there
coolant.
is a magnet here. You can install it on any machine, and when you hook up the filter to the liquid and the air pressure, you just turn on the knob here, and it's working well. You can adjust the amount of liquid from the nozzle here on the top and the pressure from the valve near the knob.
Right.
This is something very easy. It's go up from 2 bars to 7 bars. But what's happening with the high level of machining, the customer asks us to make a cooling system which will be good for up to 70 bars. Okay.
70.
70.
Wow.
So what we did, we developed an arm.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at the arm, top arm and bottom arm. Okay. With X key, when you lose it, you release it. You can move it any position you want.
Oh, I see the articulation there. Right.
When you lock the system, you lock the whole system. It is a set, so the people cannot really change the set.
Right.
And it's allowed to deliver liquid up to 70 bars.
Incredible.
Yeah. Now we develop a new version because some customers say, look, it's too big, Avi.
Right.
Let's make a small one, a mini one. So with our engineers, we developed, this is a new version. We just established it a few months ago.
Yeah.
The same little one can do what the big one is doing.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice, precise, and I'm hoping and suggesting everyone to use it.
So when you use this on a surface grinder though, what I want this nozzle with a cutout that matches the radius of the wheel so that I can get it, forgive me, but right up close to the wheel. I don't want it 1 or 2 inches away, which I have to do with this huge nozzle.
Okay.
So make this with a curve.
Okay.
You understand?
Done. Yeah, of course we understand. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll adapt it and we'll send you a sample for your review.
Good. Amish was saying he's heard really good things about these deburring brushes. Super interesting. We know the NAM power stuff, but yeah, and if you're wondering, this is super embarrassing, but I managed to cut myself at the Noga booth. Of all things, a note. Oh, look at those little stones. Huh. Oh, look at that. It kind of flares out.
You can see, if you look at the holes, how it's just like perfectly like a nice
Yeah.
That's what the round ones are kind of for, like underneath.
Oh, so you actually have to run a tool path.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a back. Yeah. 3D chamfer infusion. Too soon. Oh yeah, look at that. That's actually really nice. robotic tool setter room. Insane. Fortunately now it's just moving some HSK tools between the two pallets, but obviously you can move them over the tool presetter and run your heights automatically. That's really cool.
This is what's called a Renishaw ball bar test. So it's able to pick up this precision measuring device, and it looks like a cylinder, but as it rotates around, it's measuring how much that cylinder moves in and out. So it's measuring run out in your machine. Super awesome way to check its accuracy.
Check my hair.
Insane. Right?
Look at the finish on this block. This came off of one of the Dmg Mori machines. Look at that mirror.
Amish and Rob are looking at the Porsche model.
You can do it in 6.
What's that?
6. I'm just kidding. It says 115 hours. You can do it in 6.
This had to be one of the most impressive cuts I saw at EMO. I know it's only aluminum. This is a 5-axis machine tearing through aluminum. I cannot emphasize, it was frightening if you were near it. Here's another really high-end machine tool manufacturers. They had some really cool aerospace examples of landing gear and panels for, those were solid titanium, insane. Really cool to see the tooling examples and to see how that head was moving in terms of how they actually build the machine. Great example of a blisk. Just, this is the kind of stuff that makes you smile. It's so cool to see this stuff in person.
The landing gear. It's insane how big that stuff is. This stuff starts as a casting or forging, right? Must. That may be billet, but that's not billet. Can't be. Possibly. Really?
Quintessential trade show example, but really impressive demo. Some of the nicest, really 5-axis toolpaths I saw in terms of demonstrating the ability of the machine to handle a larger workload and move around. Really impressed.
You having fun in EMO? Awesome. What do you think? You gotta come. Yeah. Bigger than you thought? Different than you thought?
I knew it was going to be bigger, but yeah, bigger times, yeah. Like hospitality and stuff, on a different level. European, German thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone's been taking good care of everybody though, right?
And we're going to go for some food right now and eat.
see. This is your problem. Guys, look, I found it. I found it. I want this. This is good. Wow, look at this coatings. Yeah, chemical. It's a gnarly reamer.
What is this? What is this called again?
It's called Flammkuchen.
Flammkuchen. We tagged it on Instagram as pizza, and that was not the correct thing to do, but it is delicious.
Well, it's like a cracker more than pizza.
Yeah.
So the bread is real crisp and crunchy. But it's a regional, I don't know what you call it, dish. It's just Flammkuchen.
Yeah.
It's like a cracker, kind of like pizza, but it's a whole better.
The dough is just a carrier device for the Speck, which is the sort of German bacon that is just absolutely spectacular.
This was the, what do you call this, a turbine or a blisk from, I believe, IMTS, done on a Hermle. Click here to watch our IMTS video, but it's kind of cool to see that. It's huge. Think about how you machine that part. The size, the work envelope, the material removal, really cool.
Look at that, Amish. You know, no flute length at all. It's really interesting. Through spindle cooling. Oh, look at that. Wow, that is gnarly. Yeah, so Amish was pointing out regular chamfer, but then look, there's like a spline. It's like an aerospace thing for a locking, location. It's insane. We'll find the mistake. Look at that, like the angles. Oh, cool. Oh my God. This is like integral.
Ich war ja dann bei something aus dem Schmied und da unterwegs.
They're called they taper, and like before you can use the ones that go straight as well. You can use either.
Multi-master, so any of these inserts, spot drills, tools, undercutting, chamfers, ball end mills, all fit on any of the holders. That's really cool. And Amish was noticing that appears to just be an ER collet, which is broken off. If you don't want to go with an integral HSK or pretty cool. Even taps Amish. Look. I don't think they're supposed to be removed.
No, it looks like coolant tubes. So it's just coolant.
Oh, I don't find that works though. Once it spins, it gone. Same thing here. Same name.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's like their That's like their the 790. Yeah. Z level roughing. Look at that. So yeah, you plunge straight in zero, you got axial strength.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool. What an interesting insert. Comes straight down, huh? That's interesting. Yeah, there's our high feet.
Excuse me, these are not high feet. These are very
high feet.
Very high feet.
Boom. That's crazy that you don't lose, to have rigidity on a tool like that.
Because it's all straight in there, right?
Yeah.
Goes straight. Going straight
straight up the shank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a small one, and now you run it.
Really? No problem? High feed mill? I gotta get one of these.
Yeah, you gotta get one and try one out.
Yeah. Amish is looking at, go back to that picture, at barrel end mills. So on a 5-axis, you can reduce your scalloping on sidewalls because you've got a straight area here and then it's curved for relief. So you can you can walk up a wall and have really no scalloping or feeling of step over, but take fewer passes. But not many people make those tools, and it's actually a pretty tricky thing, I guess, in CAM to program. Like a hypermill software does it. It's a funny looking end mill. Check this out. This is Brent from Heimer America. How do you say?
North America, yeah.
So we had a nice conversation about broken Heimer tips and Zero Masters, and he's just showing us, this is really cool. You want to walk us through the...
Yeah, sure. This is our safe lock. So we have, it's an anti-pull-out feature. So here you see a collet chuck. At the back of the collet chuck, we have a EDM form built into the collet.
So this is a cutaway of, in this case, an HSK holder, but this is your tool holder. This is your ER16.
Yeah.
But instead of it being straight wall, boom. Sorry.
Yeah. No problem. So instead of just a straight wall with the accuracy of friction clamping, where you have 360-degree clamping, we actually have a combination of friction clamping and form fit. So rather than a side lock, which will definitely give you the form fit and prevent the tool from pulling out, with the side lock form fit, you end up with run out problems, balance issues. So with this, you get the accuracy and balance repeatability of a friction fit system, but with the reliability of a form fit. So there's an actual connection there. So with the direction of the cut, there's no way that tool can pull out of the chuck.
Yeah, so you would, this is really high level stuff, but you would go to, that page.
Yes.
So certain tooling manufacturers will make tools where the shank of your tool will have this form to it, which fits this EDM profile on the ID of the collet, which is super cool. So the fit is phenomenal, and then all of a sudden you've got this rotation, and it seats down there, and just no axial pullout then whatsoever.
No axial pullout whatsoever. So it's been a big problem solver for anyone who had axial pullout issues.
Cool. Thanks, Brent.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming by.
Really nice. For sure, I'm sure not inexpensive, but if you think about the alternative relative to a Lista cabinet, you've got much better access here on the heights.
Absolutely.
See what you got, safer reaching in.
Yep. Oh, that's the key benefit.
Vertical space, floor space.
Yeah. Wow.
That's great.
So tool presetters not only measure height and the diameter, so you don't have to do that in the machine, but in this case, we're zoomed in on this tool and you can actually see the chamfer on the end, and you switched it to a mode that let you see, so you actually take measurements.
And here we can take the measurement, where we can get ours. Automatic.
That's amazing. Wow. And then this will rotate to find your actual diameter?
Yeah, you can rotate with the auto focus idea, and it will find the diameter.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's funny. I've been talking to Jay Pearson about the value of a tool presetter, which in really many cases would let you avoid having to put a Renishaw OTS on every machine table, which is expensive, takes up room, and is at risk of getting damaged if a part's thrown or something. So tool presetters are definitely, I think, something that more and more folks are looking at.
It's a great.
You can't move it if you're on the cast iron; it's rigid. But then as soon as you touch it, it's just inductive. Right. So you bring. Oh, so you just put the button, it does.
Isn't that nice?
So you just connect something like one or something, right?
Exactly. Most presetters you got to push a button or something. And then also this edge finder thing is nice. See that little
laser,
laser that helps you find where is the edge, so you don't have to really screw around with any kind of.
Oh, look at that! It just pops right up.
Yeah.
It's amazing. As you move this.
Yeah.
So watch it as I'm gently moving this. It's real-time tracking. So you have to have certain lighting in the room.
No.
Doesn't care. Oh my god.
Basically, if you're delivering coolant through the tool at high speeds, like about 12,000 RPM, or with low coolant pressure, the coolant will start to flare out.
Yeah.
So this actually concentrates the coolant. So the coolant comes down, hits a cap, a laser welded cap on the shrink fit holder, redirects to the center of the holder, and then goes right through the flutes of the tool.
So this is about coolant through tool body, through holder body.
The holder body, so you don't have to have a milling cutter with a hole in it.
But you're not getting that centrifugal loss.
Exactly.
That's super cool.
This demo goes up to 18,000 RPM, and then as it rotates, you'll see the coolant adheres right through the shank of the tool. So it's a little bit of a pause right now, but it's just about to start. The reason we have the strobe light is so you can actually see it. Otherwise, it would just be a blur.
Yeah.
But the strobe light helps it de-identified.
I didn't know you guys made Visiports.
We don't. In fact, I wish. This is the older one. The new one doesn't put our name there because everyone thinks we sell them. But it's a Visiport. It's not ours.
It's just an automatic demo.
Yeah, it takes a little break in between the cycles. It must have just finished.
Is this a trademark iconography?
Yeah, that's for our power series where we help dampen vibration.
Yeah.
So we put that little trademark on there. That's all it is. There's no function.
I thought it was like one of those intake turbines, so you can see whether the tool's spinning or not.
Oh yeah. So right now this one's running at 4,000 RPM, but it's going to go all the way up to 18,000 RPM, and then you'll see that the coolant still goes right through the flutes of the tool, so you get really good chip evacuation, a very stable chip evacuation where it's consistent. You don't have to think about are the nozzles hitting the tool in the right spot because it's automatic.
The holes are on the face, axial face?
Yeah, so actually here, this shows it good. We have
we're up to 6,000 RPMs.
And now it's at 6,000. So we have the normal cool jet, but then we've laser welded this cap to the nose of the shrink fit chuck.
Wow.
It becomes permanent. It doesn't change the z-axis dimension.
Okay.
It hits here, goes through this thin slit, and goes right to the shank of the tool. And it adheres right through the flutes.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're getting concentrated.
Now it's at 18,000 RPM.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So Heimer's introducing a line of end mills and cutting tools, and look at this. This is beautiful 5-axis job of this cup.
We made that at EMO last year, or 2 years ago. That was our, because it was in Italy, so we made an espresso cup.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they were. We have
serious?
Yeah, no, they were giveaways.
Wow.
You can't drink out of it though, because it's aluminum.
Yeah.
So.
First of all, look at this tombstone. That's amazing. But this is awesome. You know, if you're doing a part, in this case, you do certain work on it, rough it out, and then you bring in this stabilizing bar for vibration. Actually, probably pretty easy, depending on where you locate it, to get kind of in the right spot. You could shim it. They've got these biting teeth on here, but they've got smooth versions, or again a shim. Pretty cool. FSC system giving you riser supports.
Right away, I caught my eye.
Is this the smallest one? Oh, small one? Is there something in there that takes vibration away, or against vibration? Is there anything built inside here that absorbs vibration? No, just solid.
It's not pneumatic or shock
mechanical
absorber.
system.
Yeah, solid.
You have the base here with mechanical, with magnetic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hello.
Okay. Yes, we have your mechanical magnetic system here on the base. Then we go on with flexible in each side, in each direction. And with these extensions here, we have a lot of extensions. Going to the
and then you lock, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Tighten.
But later we lock later. We have 3 possibilities on the workpiece. Possibility 1 with a strap. Possibility 2 directly with a screw into the flat.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
And possibility number 3 also with a second magnetic here.
Oh.
On the
part.
Yes.
Difficult on aluminum.
After that, you are here also really free in each side with this arm, and you can go on here to clamp.
Oh, so you can put an indicator on it.
Fine adjustment. You have an indicator here.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So then clamp all these screws. So this is a fine adjustment by hand. Yes.
Really interesting tall vices. Screw-driven cam clamps bring in. Really low profile. Oh wow, custom machine soft jaws for odd shapes. Wow, there's a strap clamp for you. Oh, I like that. Shunk is, they definitely are around the US, but they're very popular here. They seem to be one of the leading modular clamping systems, tool holding, work holding. And so this is a hydraulic holder, which we don't have any of. You might hold it. But really nice, very secure. And when you release this, the tool comes out. It looks like a shrink fit or a solid bore, but there's a fluid in there that's compressed. Solid, really cool. not too expensive, really good for definitely axial load, but I think also radial load. Tighter, smaller profile. You don't need a heat shrink device. You use some sandbag ones, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So something we're looking into. This was the Dmg Mori that they briefly made Ecoline. They replaced the name. I think this was sort of the successor to Grimsmo's Duravertical. Totally different machine, but this is the basic 3-axis Mori that's now, I think, a CTX. No, what's it called?
Something like that.
1000. Yeah, 1150. Cool pallet system. Dude, just so much strength.
What's that?
So much strength.
It's big though.
End of the afternoon on the last day here, and I think it's appropriate to wrap up with some of the laser tech stuff, which is really probably the future, like it or not, which is this idea of combining additive and subtractive, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know if they're going to let us film up close, but you know, literally the same machine can do laser sinter additive machining and then machine it back down, and it can even do that multiple times, so it can build a little bit up, machine it back down. Pretty amazing. Some of these may just be additive only, and that's just a machine. It might be this big one down here that does both. Yeah, look at this. Well, that's just additive. Yeah, those are all just additive. Build it up, machine it down. Amazing. Inconel.
Folks, hope you enjoyed. We had such a great time. It was really an incredible show. It was huge, but worth it. And here's my advice. If you're going to a trade show, there are actually a shocking number of CNC and metalworking trade shows. Many of them, of course, are smaller. And for the smaller ones, I recommend taking a lap around most of the aisles or areas. Again, for the smaller shows, making a note of what's interesting and then prioritizing that list and then going back to each of those booths. EMO is too large to do that. So all the more important, make a list of what's interesting to you and what you want to learn about, whether it's software or specific drills or specific tools or machines, and then create a plan. It really, I find once you get there, it's so overwhelming and it's so stimulating that it's very difficult to make critical decisions or stop and pull out maps and try and think through, am I forgetting something or what did I want to see next? Bring a small pen and paper. I like the kind that are notepad size that have a hard cardboard back. That way I can take quick notes by hand while I'm sanding in an aisle. I don't need to go find a writing surface. Don't be afraid to tell a vendor or a company, hey, no longer interested, appreciate the conversation, I've got to head on. Some folks will try to talk your ear off and your time is precious. So don't be polite, but don't be afraid to move on. And conversely, if something looks interesting, if you walk by something, go start a conversation, go learn, get outside of your comfort zone. It's amazing what you can pick up and learn if you just see a tool or a part or a process that's interesting. Again, go engage that person, tell them what you're trying to do or ask them to understand it. And if you're trying to really drill down, pun intended, if let's say you're looking at a drill, go politely ask a competitor, hey, I'm looking at brand A, could you help me understand why your brand is something we should try or consider, and really dig down to the meat of what sounds good and what sounds interesting to you and what you think is going to be a good recipe. That's what's unique about trade shows, is you've got everybody there in one place and you're able to compare A and B, and you're able to talk to all these people in what is an effectively very efficient manner of your time. So we had such an awesome time. It get me really fired up for IMTS in Chicago this coming, I think it would be September or October 2018. Take care, folks. See you soon.